Hi, we're back again with Piano Man. Piano Man is a long song, and we have some great harmonica interludes in there in between, to which we will strum an accompaniment while the harmonica plays its little solo in between some of the verses as marked. And of course, the piano interlude, I'm going to skip that during this particular piece and just play the part where the harmonica comes in for this particular tutorial. And once I solve the mystery of what chords are to be played during the piano solo for our accompaniment on the ukulele, that I'll add that in a new tutorial. So here we go with Piano Man. And the chords are chords that we're all quite familiar with. So we have our A minor chord, which is our second finger, second fret on the last string, which would be number 4. There's our A minor. We then have a C, which we're all familiar with, so first string, third position. We then have a D7. You can play a D, but the D7 is what gives it that really nice dissonance that we like to hear. So we have to do all 3 fingers, if you can manage it, on string 2, 3, 4. So those are the top 3 strings, and you have to put your pinky on that C note here, 3rd fret, 1st string. When you're holding your ukulele, in order to get a better position and being able to really get your fingers on those strings, you need to curl your fingers over. So in order to get all 3 of those strings, curl your fingers so they're bent like this, so you can get a grip over top, and then tuck in your pinky. And that's your D7. If you need to bar it, and it's easier for you to bar it, you can take your entire first finger here, your index finger, and when we bar, we try to use the bottom half of our finger here. So you want to position your finger where you're going to be able to press on all the strings evenly, so you get that sound. If you try to use the top of your finger, you might not be able to get full sound, and it also might be more difficult to get enough pressure to press all the strings down. So you can use the middle or end of your finger here, but then we need to add in whatever finger is comfortable to add in that last note. After learning how to play the ukulele my first year, I found that barring became actually much more difficult to achieve when trying to transition from chord to chord. So try to put your ukulele nicely, the neck in the crook of your hand here, in that nice spot that our hands were clearly made to play ukulele. And we're going to cradle it in here. Curl your fingers around. Allow your wrist and your elbow to be part of when you play. And curl your fingers over the top of your ukulele to reach those 3 strings, 2, 3, and 4 on the 2nd fret, and add in your pinky for that D. So that might take a little bit of practice, but you will get there. Now we do have a cheater D7, which is actually the Hawaiian D7, and you can put fingers 1 and 2 here on string 2 and 4. Can you see that? 2 and 4 on the 2nd fret. And if you can manage, add your pinky. So we're close. We have almost all the strings, except for, believe it or not, the D itself. So we get a different kind of sound. So that's the Hawaiian D7, the cheater chord. Now we're going to move on to the next chord, which is F. So first string, 2nd fret. And then we have the 4th string, first string, 2nd, I'm losing my mind here. 2nd string, 1st fret. 4th string, 2nd fret for our F. Again, see how my fingers are curled? We're not going to try to flatten our fingers. We want to try to keep our fingers curled. This time, instead of my hand being cradled here, I'm actually moving my thumb down to push on the back. That's giving me some leverage to be able to put lots of nice pressure on those strings to get a nice full sound. Our next chord is a G. Our G is we start on our 2nd fret, so we need position 1 and position 2 on strings 1 and 3. So this is where I use these 2 fingers here, position 1 and 3, and then tuck that ring finger between those 2 on the 2nd string on the 3rd fret to get your G, and then your G7. Unfortunately, we can't keep these 2 fingers on those 2 needed notes for a G7, so we have to reposition our fingers. So 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and position 1 or position 2 on string 1 and 3 to get that G7 chord. So the chord sequence we have here is a C, a G, an F, and a C. C, G, F, and C. And then the next line is F, C, D7, G, or cheater D7, G. And we keep going in that sequence using all of those chords. And it's pretty much repeat, 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 repeat. Every once in a while, we throw in a couple of those other chords, like the G7. So in the la, da, di, da, we have an A minor, D7, A minor, D7. And our chord, or our strumming pattern is fairly basic and really nice, and it's waltzy. A waltz is in 3/4 time, meaning you count 3 beats per measure instead of a typical even 4/4 time, which is 4 beats per measure. So a waltz goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice I'm putting emphasis on the 1. So what you want to do is when you're strumming, you put the emphasis on the first down strum when you're playing. So if I play just my C chord and get into a rhythm, we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And we're consistent with that strumming pattern throughout the entire song. And by giving it a heavier strum, a little bit louder and a bit more emphasis, it allows you to keep the beat and the time. And it also adds a little bit more melodic structure to the song as you play. So that's how we start with Piano Man. Those are your chords: A minor, C, D7, F, G, and G7. Our strumming pattern: down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in the next video, play along. I'm slowing it down from the original Billy Joel recording, which is a little bit quick. We can get tired out pretty fast if we are running along with that song without enough practice in really getting the chord structure down. So I will play a slower version of Piano Man in a subsequent video. So there's your beginning of learning the chords and the chord structure and the strumming pattern. And in the next video, a play along with a bit slower rendition of Piano Man.